one day, and with the dream of a greater Nigeria, propel it forward when the time and the opportunity was right. Ladies and gentlemen, that time has come. All across Nigeria, in this and in other Unity schools, a spark has been ignited that is now a smouldering flame. There are all student associations just like this in every other Unity school across the country. In the spirit of these associations, we are afforded the opportunity for rekindling friendships. We are blessed with the opportunity for networking in our businesses and in our chosen careers. For yet others, we gain our spouses through the connections in our old students associations. People just like you and me are getting massive connections across the country for their economic empowerment and upward social mobility from their former classmates. Some are being placed in positions of power where they can promote Nigeria and Nigeriana globally. Conversely, some are helping their former classmates with access to credit for their businesses. Others are helping their colleagues who have fallen on bad times to pay their children's school fees or pay their rents, even though they themselves may live in different countries. These are admirable benefits we have derived from each other. But the reason we are products of these schools is not so much as to create networks or achieve upward mobility or to find a spouse. No. We are here for the salvation, the building, and the sustenance of a nation. We are here to lend our talents and give our all for our fatherland. This is not a time for narrow-mindedness. It is certainly not a time for selfish and greedy aggrandizement at the expense of the greater good of all. It is a time for the demonstration of the higher virtues of the human spirit. It is a time to challenge ourselves morally and intellectually. It is a time for hard work and discipline. Now more than ever, we ought to eschew the temptation to dig into religious, ethnic, or political camps, because when we do so, the capacity for interfacing and dialogue amongst ourselves suffers. We lose sight of our prime objective, and our great country begins to decline. Dear builders, let me announce to all of us today that we, that is you and I, are the vanguard against the rot and decay that pervades our society in this dispensation. We have been given the courage, we have been given the erudition, we have been given the exposure, and now we have been given the opportunity. We received all these things from the time spent at our alma mater, Federal Government College, Lagos. It is time to pay back to the country that has given us so much. You might ask, what has Nigeria given to me? By way of an example and a comparison, a few years ago in the United States, I went to school and had a very good friend who shared with me that his wife was going to medical school. And he told me that what they had done as a family was to set aside $250,000 as tuition for her going to school. Now, that is 90 million naira at today's exchange rate. Just think about that for a minute. Now, don't forget that this does not include the amount she had spent to get her first degree. Compare how much you and your parents spent to send you to medical school or engineering school or law school in Nigeria. Even today, you're not likely to spend 3 million naira for tuition in any of our federal or state-owned higher institutions of learning, from start to finish, to obtain a bachelor's or a master's degree. Our education in Nigeria is heavily subsidized to the tune of almost 90%. Without these subsidies, many of us would have had a hard time getting the degrees that we so currently flaunt. Amongst us are doctors, architects, engineers, lawyers, businessmen, pharmacists, and so on and so forth. Some stubborn ones amongst us may want to argue and say that the quality of the education in those countries is far better than ours. Maybe, but take note that it is these same Nigerian graduates from the Nigerian schools, Nigerian universities, that emigrate to these foreign countries and excel, many times besting their counterparts from these top not universities abroad. Let me restate again for emphasis. We all owe Nigeria. Nigeria may not be perfect, but she is our own. She is flawed in many areas, indeed, but we must not allow ourselves to be blind in the areas where she is strong and give up hope. Note that Nigeria is not any particular government in power at any time in our history. Nigeria is an ideal. Nigeria is a concept. It is the concept of the enormous possibilities of what can be if we all hunker down and work hard. Nigeria is an accident of history, but it is a good accident. It is an accident of highly virile population, of intelligent and enterprising youth. It is an accident of wise old men with deep morals, passed on through intellectually sound oral traditions in how to maintain order and good form in society. Nigeria is an accident of over 250 ethnic cultures that have always promoted hospitality and welcomed strangers in their midst. Nigeria is an accident of very colorful cultural customs, music, attire, and ceremonial displays. Last but not least, Nigeria is an accident of breathtakingly diverse topography that includes not only very arable land mass capable of growing cash crops in high demand globally, but also several different minerals and ores that offer prospects for commercial industrial exploitation worldwide. If we devote our hearts and minds to making Nigeria work, she will work. Like they say, united we stand, and divided we fall. The award ceremonies of today's events are a small part of our march towards recognizing and expressing our gratitude to Nigeria by recognizing and appreciating those Nigerians that gave so much to their fatherland in the area of education. We want to say that even though it is said that a teacher's reward is in heaven, there are also rewards here on earth. We will also be presenting an award to an exemplary Nigerian leader who has not only been a catalyst to Nigerian industry throughout his banking career, but has been a mentor to several people as a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Church Network, and other similar youth initiatives. Finally, as president of this august body of old students, I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to all the members of Platform 82, as we like to call ourselves, for your unflinching support to me and my EXCO during my tenure. As we prepare to hand over to the not too distant future, it is my hope that you will keep the spirit alive and continue to support the incoming set of executives. Once again, I thank you all for coming. Please enjoy the evening. It is your night. Long live Federal Government College, Lagos, Ijaniki. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And in the mortal words of the Unity School emblem, I say, can we all rise and lift up our glasses as we declare Pro Unitate. Whatever you have in front of you, just lift up your glasses. And clean your glasses and declare to your neighbors, Pro Unitate. That means towards unity. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you.